So lots of growth, lots of change in Oklahoma City. We see it, throughout the metro, and we also see it down at the Boathouse District, where there's lots of growth, lots of promise, and lots of fun. And one of the guys behind that growth and fun is the CEO of USA Canoe Kayak, and he has been for about 5 or 6 years now. Joe Jacobi, he joins us now. Thanks so much for your time today.
It's great to be here.
And I mentioned the change and the growth, and you have some change to announce.
Yeah, this is a big day, one that I've been both looking forward to, and it's a little bit of a scary step forward, but I've made the decision to step down later this year as the CEO of USA Canoe Kayak. I'm announcing today, and this organization has been such a huge part of my life. Not just over the 5 years that I've been the CEO, but of course I've been an athlete and a coach and a commentator in the sport, and it's been very good to me. But there's some things I'm really looking forward to moving on with in my life. And the good news is I'm not going too far from Oklahoma City. In fact, I'm not leaving Oklahoma City at all.
I was just going to bring that up. You're one of the roles you do, we'll probably see on the Olympics coming up on NBC, is the role of a commentator. I was like, why am I speaking? You're the one with the Olympic experience, including a gold medal in 1992. What's ahead for Joe?
Well, so my decision to leave USA Canoe Kayak sort of focused on two parts. There was a personal part of it, and there was a professional part of it. So let's start with the professional part of it first. I think as people have come to know me here in Oklahoma City, that I just light up when I talk about the opportunities for canoe kayak.
You are an evangelist. When someone comes to you and says, "Hey Joe, I have a question about this," and you're like, "Give me a minute," and then 10 minutes later you're still going about it because you're pumped about it.
Well, whoever would have thought this would be the place that we would have this kind of investment, this kind of model, and this kind of opportunity. And it literally just makes me tingle about the idea that we have young kids, 5th, 6th grade in Oklahoma City that have yet to get into a kayak, that within 10 to 12 years from now will be standing on podiums representing the United States at World Championships and Olympic Games. And it's because of the vision, it's because of the investment, it's because of the belief and the opportunity that we've created here. And I love that. And honestly, I want to be even closer to that. I look at the people like Mike Knopp, the executive director of the Boathouse Foundation, and a board member at USA Canoe Kayak. Mike has become one of my closest friends, and I want to see him succeed. I want to help him and help his organization and help that Whitewater Center really be all that it can be. On a personal level, I think that when you are the CEO of a national governing body like USA Canoe Kayak, I think you and your family make a decision where every single time you put the athletes ahead of yourself.
Big commitment.
It's a big commitment, and not just from me. It's from my wife, from my daughter. It's all of us. We make that commitment. And I do think, our daughter is 13 years old now. I mean, my wife spends a lot of time at our home in Tennessee via her music career. I think I would like to have maybe single-digit percentage, the ability to not always have to put the athletes first. And I know that USA Canoe Kayak will bring a wonderful leader into this opportunity that will really maximize the advantages that Oklahoma City give its only Olympic sport that lives here in the state. And I'd like to have just a little bit more flexibility to kind of make some decisions on my own best interests. And it's been unbelievable what this community has given to me. And it's I just feel at this stage I'm ready to get more involved here, not less.
And one of the things I believe you're pretty excited about is the upcoming Whitewater Rapids.
You could not be more correct about that. The Whitewater Center, I grew up as a whitewater athlete. That was what I won my gold medal in at the Olympic Games.
Not too many can say that around here because we don't have that. here.
Well,
but
yeah.
you grew up around the moving water.
I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area where the Potomac River has phenomenal rapids. And then I spent time in western North Carolina's Nantahala River. Our home now is on the Ocoee River. I mean, our home in Tennessee is on the 1996 Olympic River, the Ocoee. Yes, I've always been around like what I call a culture of whitewater. But I've never been in a community where we actually get to build a culture of whitewater from scratch. And when you think about what that means to the success of our Whitewater Center and the high performance piece, but just getting people into rafts and on the water, paddling kayaks, being able to spend time around moving water. The first time in the history of the state that we're putting moving water around Oklahomans, I wouldn't miss that for the world. And then when you actually look at what the expectations are for the Whitewater Center and who it serves, I think this is the exciting part, because when you look at the mission statement of the Oklahoma City Boathouse Foundation, they are there to serve the development, the growth of competitive rowing and competitive kayaking. So a healthy Whitewater Center doesn't just serve whitewater kayaking, it serves the mission of the boathouse. It serves all of our top elite athletes that have their eyes on Paralympic and Olympic gold medals. So in a lot of ways, if there are things that I can do to be of help to the success of that Whitewater Center, I know that I'm actually contributing directly to the mission of USA Canoe Kayak. So that's exciting as well.
Not going to be too far removed, are you?
No, I mean, obviously, there's a transition that goes along with this. And I think one of the most primal attributes that whitewater canoe kayak teaches you is humility. You paddle your kayak into these rapids and you go in with the best skill and perspective you can, and you try to make good choices, and you very quickly see that the strength and power of a river is, it's big, it's strong. And I think the humility that it teaches you, I think, you take into the CEO job as well. It's not something I own. It's not something that the title was this big attachment to me. It's serving. It is serving and knowing that whatever happens next, I want to happen even better than the 5 years that I've been doing this. Our athletes deserve that. Oklahoma City deserves that.
You know what's interesting? There's a ton of super competitive, super smart executives of all levels, whether athletes, but a lot of people never slow down to consider what makes me happy or what's going to continue to motivate me. But it sounds like you've kind of downshifted and done some, introspective thinking.
Absolutely.
Which may be redundant to say that, but
no, that's exactly what happened though. So about 18 months ago, it was January of 2013. It was right after the holidays, and of course, like everyone else, you get your New Year's resolution. I'm going to get healthier. So I got involved with the Oklahoma City Boathouse Foundation Employee Wellness Program, and there was a group of us that started working out during lunchtime. And I didn't go into it with any big goals or objective, but look, it was a couple years into my job. It wasn't that I was just sort of looking at how I was personally fueling myself for the job. And I just thought about some of the negative self-talk that I had, some of the poor habits that I have that I wasn't changing. And I just kept asking myself, why aren't you making these changes? And I had these, these built-in excuses like, oh, you're an elite athlete. You know what to do. You know how to fix these things.
You can flip a switch. You can get better.
Well, which may be true, but I wasn't doing it. And so, but just through this process of just taking small steps every day, I began to notice changes. I began to get in better shape. I was really committed to my running with the Oklahoma City Land Runners. I love running, with that running club, and I enjoy running in the marathon every year and enjoy trying to do it a little bit better. And really through that process, I began taking more of that momentum and kind of looking, as you pointed out, into other parts of my life, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, just kind of how things were lining up and what was I really investing into that process. And really kind of over the last 18 months, I just strive to do just tiny incremental gains each day in those areas that just give me hopefully a better outlook on the things I'm doing and ultimately make decisions for the life I want to live, which is really geared towards, at this stage, towards serving this community and serving the sport.
How do you win an Olympic gold medal? It's just one or two things, right? It's not a bunch of little things, right?
It's so funny, whether you're asked, like, how did you lose like a bunch of weight, or how do you win an Olympic gold medal? It's like sometimes the question, sets up the answer that people are looking for. Like, is there that silver bullet, that something, that one or two things that you have to do? With a diet, it's not like a list of 2 or 3 foods you eat. And with an Olympic gold medal, it's not one thing that you do. It's a million little things that you do well, tiny, small little things that line up together, that ultimately they build momentum, they create discipline, they create a mindset about how you approach things. And that, to me, is, I think, what I've learned in this process, and really what I value kind of above everything else, is just keep working on that mindset a little bit. It's not just, positive thinking. I mean, it's you really begin to kind of take the time to work through this question: why do I do what I do? What is the best way to serve? I mean, it was really one of my big questions, with USA Canoe Kayak, was that I wondered if there were other ways that I might be able to serve some of the things I believe about the mission of USA Canoe Kayak even better without being the CEO. And what I found for me, that answer was yes.
He's Joe Jacobi, and Joe, I always appreciate the conversation every time we have a chance to sit down, whether it's in front of the cameras or just over a cup of Joe.
Dave, I have so much admiration for what you and News OK are doing, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit today. This is awesome. I look forward to many more conversations.
Anytime, and we're glad you're sticking around in the community.
It'll be awesome.